So in this YouTube video I wanted to show you a very quick and simple repair that I've made to this Garmin Vector 2 pedal sensor. The problem that I encountered, I've removed, as you can see, the battery and the battery holder. With this particular sensor, you can see the contact tab there for the negative. What had happened is that there had been either a dry or a cracked joint. It had become unsoldered there on the circuit board and was moving backwards and forwards. I did a search on the web to see if there was any information on repair of these Vector 2s or any of the Garmin pedal sensors. And with no luck, there's a lot of information on setting them up, installing blah blah blah, but nothing on repairing them. They seem to be that people have got them as maybe as a throwaway type of item, even though they're in Australia here set about $120 odd, I think, to purchase, thereabouts. But this particular YouTube guide will not cover the repairs to the circuitry or anything like that. It's only just a simple soldering job to repair this tab. Now, I'm not sure. I think by the design that has occurred before, and so other people may find this of use. Now, the thing that I wanted to discover was to basically repair it, but to take this particular unit apart. What I found is it's not too difficult. It's actually, there's a shell within a shell that holds the circuit board, and basically it's quite easy to pull apart. You may be able to see there's a joint going around the outside here. That is just held in with a small amount of glue, and with just as you can see, I've used a bit of a scalpel type blade. You just slice around that carefully and you'll find that it does come off. That's the outer shell and the battery holder, the battery holder case cover. So it's just held on by, as you can see, a couple little bits of glue on either side. That reveals then the circuit board. The circuit board itself can actually be removed. It's just basically sitting in, there's a couple of plastic locators, which is one there, and I think there was another one over the other side. The circuit board itself and this complete shell comes off, as you can see. It's just a clear shell with the circuit board sitting in it. That's the contact wire there going through to the pedal axle with the senses the loading on the pedals. The circuit board itself can actually slip up again. It's not glued in, and you will see on the other side of it, of the unit, there is, if I can just get it without damaging it, there is the ribbon cable going into that clip there, and if you need to take the whole circuit board out, that clip, that plastic ribbon cable clip, just flicks up from the back and it pivots up. You slide the ribbon cable out, and then you've got the whole circuit board free and available. I haven't looked at any, there's no repairs needed for any of this. The only issue that I had was, again, the joint here, soldered joint. So what I did was basically cleaned it up, removed any excess solder with a solder wick and a bit of isopropyl, etc. Cleaned it all up, resoldered it. And I've tested it, and it works okay now. What it was doing before, we had intermittent contact. Therefore, you had on the screen on your bike computer, was coming up intermittently working. In other words, you had all your information on your screen cockpit. So that's all I really wanted to show. reverse insulation is just, as you can see, is probably there's a bit of glue that's been used to adhere this clear plastic shell into there, and then a little bit of glue to hold the outer battery case onto the outer shell, and that's all that's involved in it. The only other thing I want to, the only other thing I wanted to show besides that was an issue I had very briefly with my Garmin 1000 bike computer, was an issue with the charging port. The charging ports on these, as you're probably aware, are I think a USB 2 type port. I had a problem after about 12-18 months of unplugging the charging cord in, that like a lot of the USB 2 jacks, they start to wear. One of the little wire prongs or something like that pops up, and then before you know it, you're not able to charge. I ended up having to purchase a new complete back for this particular unit, and I thought, well, I'm not really that happy with having to go through the same process again, say another 12-18 months, because it wears out. So what I have done is purchased one of those magnetic type contact charging jacks. So basically, basically it's just the magnetic type charger where it sits on there. As you can see, it's now jumped on, and there's no pushing in or pulling out of cables or anything like that. It just sits on, charges up. Once it's charged, you just pull it off. What I've done also is, I didn't really want to lose this particular adapter. I've used a bit of silicone around the outside of it to form a bit of a bond on the outside of the case and to the unit itself, so it doesn't drop out. The other thing I have done as well is to also, I've just made up I put some Velcro on it, made up a very rough, got a very rough piece of plastic or rubber cover from somewhere, I can't remember, and put some Velcro in it, and it just sits there, little magnet, and it just holds that in place. I've also got an outside cover that sits over the whole unit, so it helps contain it all. And that's really all I wanted to show you, was this particular little adaptation and the repair to the Vector 2 battery contact arm with this unit. I hope it might be useful to people.